afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for September 6th, Monday, 2021, 3 p.m. Eastern. Once all of us discover for ourselves, without a question of a doubt, with total trust, that each of us have the power to attract, magnetize, and manifest anything that we desire. Right in this now. Whatever we want, we can have it. We are capable of receiving whatever our heart is yearning for. But it's being able to relax deeply into this understanding. Most have not even come close to that. We are destined to manifest the most amazing life that we love. But it's feeling the truth in this. Not superficial, not, oh, well, yeah, okay. We are already so deeply, eternally loved. It's feeling it, not because you should feel it, but because it's true. Not because you should, well, maybe I should be feeling that. Why am I not feeling that? It's because because it's true. You feel it because it's true, because you know it. It's not ego. It's not the ego mind. It's through your heart, mind, and through the God that you are. So you know this inherently. That's when you have no doubt, no fear, no anxiety, total trust, bazillions of percent trust. But this is why we're in these physical forms, to discover these things. It's why we enter them, is to literally discover all of this so that our lives are absolutely magical. It's the same with physically healing ourselves. There are some on this planet that have done it effortlessly. A sad soul can kill you quicker than a germ. John Steinbeck. Our bodies are an amazing healing machine that have automatic processes built into them to ensure that they maintain a state of perfect health. Science has found that our body's cells naturally regenerate themselves at different speeds, depending upon where they are located in our bodies. For instance, the cells of the eye take only 48 hours to regenerate themselves. The cells of the eye take only 48 hours to regenerate themselves, whereas the cells of the liver take about 6 weeks to completely replicate themselves. In 1 year from this day, today, our entire bodies will contain 100% brand new cells, where we will physically not be the same person that we are today. This is all fact. This isn't made up. It's not smoke and mirrors. This is factual. Now, you may be wondering how people maintain an illness past a year if every cell in the body is completely regenerated and brand new. So Dr. Deepak Chopra asked the same question, and through extensive research found an amazing discovery. The reason unhealthy cells continue to replicate themselves is because negative emotions from life experiences become chemically trapped in the cell, causing it to emotionally remember itself to be sad, sick, or unhealthy. The negative feelings in these cellular memories cause a healthy cell to replicate as unhealthy, which leads to the perpetuation of an illness or disease, or eventuality being forced to leave the body prematurely. When negative emotion is dissipated, our physical vehicles will vibrate in much greater harmony with nature, and much disease will no longer consume man. J.J. Dewey. This is, through this meditation, this is to understand this. Other scientists, such as Candace Pert, Joseph Ledoux, Elliot Drucker, have also found that the chemicals caused by our emotions are stored within the walls of the cells. They found that when you express positive, healthy emotions, such as love, peace, and gentleness, the cell walls respond to these positive emotions, and their communication receptors remain open, receptive, and healthy. On the other hand, when a traumatic event occurs, chemicals called peptides flood into our bloodstreams and attach themselves to our cell receptors, hindering chemical communication from taking place. As long as the traumatic memory from these chemically blocked cells is not healed, they end up protecting themselves, cutting off healthy, necessary communication with other cells in the body. Blocked communication of cells in the body, eventually over time, leads to the development of physical illness showing up in the body. The physical world, including our bodies, is a response of the observer. We create our bodies as we create the experience of our world, Deepak Chopra. So he decided to do a life study of successful survivors of illness and found that they all have two things in common. The first is that they were all able to spontaneously access a divine, intelligent, loving source inside them, God, higher self, the universe, etc. Secondly, they could forgive and heal themselves from past traumatic memories. Brandon Bays, a woman who believed in the power of healing from within, cured herself of a tumor the size of a basketball in less than 6 weeks by simply releasing her emotional traumatic memories and hypnotherapy and reprogramming her cells to remember they are safe, loved, and all is well. There are thousands of stories like hers where people dove deep into their inner world. In other words, going within, liberating themselves from stored up negative emotions, and found their connection to divine intelligence again. These people reprogrammed the actual DNA memory to let go of the past and live from a place of healing. If someone you know is constantly sick, dying of a terminal illness, or unable to heal themselves with conventional methods, they need to explore the sacred experience of healing their past. I knew a woman that was very close with her mother. In fact, she was so close with her mother that she swore to herself that if her mother left, that she would want to leave and go with her. And 3 years later, that happened. We all need to learn a higher way of operating in the world, this world, a step towards ascension, higher vibrational frequency, and the essential steps to shift our lives into 5D consciousness. I believe that some people believe that this 5D consciousness, 5 dimension, is something that they're going to discover and walk into. It isn't. It is their vibrational frequencies that creates the 5th dimension, the 5D consciousness. It is their higher frequencies that bring them into it, that they create. Everyone deserves the opportunity to be forgiven for whatever mistakes they have made and heal the hardness and the heaviness they're burdened with every day. The secret is to go within, as these meditations repeatedly suggest, and find peace with what is here now. We can find peace with ourselves with anything. It doesn't matter how horrible you believe it is. Someone on this planet has overcome what you're going through, and perhaps a situation that was even worse. The best news is that we all can close our eyes, heal ourselves in the comfort of our own bedroom tonight. That's exactly right. How to do self-healing? The real transformation begins with being willing to feel your pain, feel it, by being open, vulnerable, and willing to cry and feel your stuckness. You're opening up the cell receptors so that they start operating with healthy cell communication. The clearing and reprogramming of these unhealthy cellular memories create the profound effect of true physical healing all throughout the body. For the essential steps towards real healing, you'll start experiencing those as time goes by, because we will have healing centers sprinkled all over the planet. Every human being is the author of his own health or disease. Sivananda. Every human being is the author of his own health or disease. The inner healing journey process is challenging because we're so conditioned to be outside of ourselves and not know these bodies, yet extremely liberating. I've done a lot of healing sessions stemming from the late 80s and have seen miraculous healings take place. By adventuring into your inner world and exploring the heavy, hard, or painful experience inside you, you will tap into your natural ability to heal anything. But the key here is the ego mind. It will convince you that that's not possible, and you will be consumed by fear of leaving the body. That's what happens. The greatest healing secret is to be able to dive through your trauma or your drama from the past without getting stuck in it again. You choose to emotionally feel what's there while remaining open and breathing deeply into this painful space. You will soon liberate this traumatic memory and see the enlightened truth, which is at the very core of it. This truth will shift your emotional body, and your physical body will begin to heal. So understand that I've talked about this several times, is that the technologies that we introduce to the civilization are training wheels, like the celestial chamber. So eventually the civilization, and as you expand your imaginations, which this will cause to happen, because the learning process will shift completely on this planet, you'll begin to realize is that you're the healing technology for your body. You always have been. It's just how you perceive things because you've been trained outside of the body to believe in this external world. You see how it's been done? Do you see how powerful we all are? Do you see how they've been able to circumvent our awareness of who and what we are for forever? Do you honestly think that the collective consciousness, the pure consciousness, the God, as we are part of the God, would leave us high and dry in these physical forms? No way. They've been manipulated through hundreds of thousands of years. And we're no longer an experiment. So you understand that right now, right in this very moment, your cells, depending on what you believe, what you feel, how you are with yourself, is dictating to the actual function of the cells in that body that you're in, to the extent that your unhealthy cells are replicating themselves. Why do you think we get sicker? It's just like any disease. It's because our cells and our emotional traumas and our unforgiveness of ourselves and peace with ourselves and gentleness and kindness and generosity and humbleness with ourselves. This is why I always talk about it's all about you. It can't be about anybody else because it must be about you. to discover all of the miracle, miraculous power that you are innately. All this external, diversive attention from outside of ourselves, all the things that we're taught to believe is real, that is the truth. You see what has been afoot with all of us for so long? And it isn't a negative, it is an understanding. And it is a forgiveness. And it allows us to move forward. Being open to vulnerable, willing to cry and feel your stuckness. What you're doing is you're opening up the cell receptors so that they start operating with healthy cell communication. Most of us don't have healthy cell communication because we're so stressed, worried, angry, irritated, in a hurry, envious, all of those things. We, each of us, are the author of our own health or dis-ease. It's all about you. So if you will, go to the place where you're not going to be interrupted. And I'm sure that we all are. And the first thing that we care to do is to relax our bodies. As we relax our bodies, how do we relax our bodies? A lot of people don't know how to. They think that they can take things and that's going to relax them. But you relax the body by surrendering the body. All aspects, all irritants, all worries, all stresses, all fears, all anxieties, all anger. It's like letting it all go. It's like dumping it into a garbage bin. Why do you need it? That's what programs ourselves into being what? Unhealthy. And then they replicate themselves over and over again in our bodies. So relaxing the body is absolutely paramount. It isn't even a question. It's all day, every day, morning, noon, and night to concentrate on relaxing your body. And you do this by moving into an understanding of being gentle, kind, generous, humble with yourself, in deep gratitude 24/7 with yourself and everything around you. Now, maybe the ego mind's going to argue with you. Oh, no, you're fine the way you are. This is just a bunch of crap. You don't need to go into that. It never works anyway. Have you ever seen it work with anybody? Well, why do you think it's going to work for you? It's the ego mind constantly insecure, feeling, worried and stressed all the time that it's not going to get what it wants. So by letting go and not resisting and having trust in yourself, the body responds. None of us care to have an ill body, a diseased body. But as long as we worry, stress, and fear, and then we have problems and issues, and we bring those in, and as soon as we have a solution to one, another one comes in. Now you ask yourself, don't you care to have your cells be happy and healthy so that when they replicate, you're replicating happy, healthy cells rather than stressed, worried, angry, envied, hurried cells? And it takes practice. Some of us, we have been stressed for so long, actually through so many generations, that we don't even know we are. We don't know we are. And where does most of it come from? Not knowing who and what we are, thinking that we are the body, and believing that this outside world is all that there is, and that we put all of our attention into it. Why do you think it exists? It exists because of us. So it is a choice to relax the body, head to toe, inside and out, and forgive whatever it is you're dragging with you, maybe not just this lifetime, but others. And to go, the only way you're going to find it out is to go within. It's the only way. You're not going to find it out there. No guru or no mountain man is going to solve that for you. It is you that will solve it. So you'll feel the body relax. We've all experienced that. You don't fight the current in this existence. You fight the current, your cells are going to be unhealthy. You allow the current to take you, and you're not worried where it's going to go at all. You have no concern whatsoever where that boat with no oars and having that current take you. When you fight something, you give it the energy to be even more aggressive to repel you. When you surrender to something, it becomes effortless. So if you're fighting the stream and then you just stop fighting it, what's going to happen? The boat's going to turn around and you're going to go the other way. See how futile it is? And all that effort, all that energy that we put in fighting the stream in this life, where does it end up? We end up leaving the body, usually prematurely. And then we say to ourselves, boy, why did I waste all that time? Instead of enjoying my life, all I did was fight it. Instead of surrendering to it and being grateful exactly as the way I was, I fought it. Every step of the way. So a visual for you relaxing in the now is just, you could be on a hammock between two shade trees floating on it. You might have started off reading a book and then that's on your chest and you're not in the ego mind. You know it because there's no chatter and noise. And you don't move, you don't care to, and you're not thinking and worrying, stressing and fearing. You just are. That's a taste of it. You just are. You're just being. Your body is completely relaxed, and you're floating. You may hear some noises and sounds, but they're not disruptive. They're kind of off at a distance. You hear them, maybe a dog barking, a mower or something. But they're not disruptive. They just fade. And you're like in a soft, friendly, super comfortable state. Not a care in the world. That's a relaxed body. When that happens, you still the ego mind and the subconscious mind. All the chatter, the tens of millions of programmed thoughts that float by us like clouds in the sky, or at times like a superhighway zooming by. But I think we all, when we take the time for ourselves, we give ourselves that time, that space, which we can do anytime, we realize that this is a place of home. This is our natural state of being. Not stressed, not egotistical, not power controlled, not any of that. It has no meaning. And your breath that you're breathing right in this now is divine positive energy. That's what focuses all of us to be in the now, to still the ego mind, to leave the mind and the ego alone. What happens with all this stuff? Well, unless you're in the habit of holding on to stress, fear, anger, revenge, and all that stuff, then you'll continue to program your cells to, guess what? Become ill, and to continually be ill and diseased. Anger begets anger. Love begets love. Like attracts like. It's not hieroglyphics. It's not something that we need to study for years. It's a knowing. So in the now, which is there is nothing else but the now. We may be tricked into believing there is a past, but there isn't a past. It's dead. It's gone. That's what causes us to get hooked up and tied up and confused, because we go into the past too much. Same with the future, because the future hasn't been created, because we're in the now, and we create the future in the now. So the breath is divine positive energy. The soul enters the body, powers the body. The body begins to breathe, breath in, breath out. Now, do you honestly, I know there's nobody in this meditation on and off world that actually believes that we don't need the breath. These bodies would be operational without the breath. Wrong. No, they won't. So every time that you're in the now, you're focused on whatever it is, the breath. Because when you focus on your breath, you're the now. You're in the now. But see, we've got all these thoughts. And you know something? Most of them, almost all of them, aren't our thoughts. Thoughts don't come to you. You create the thought and send it. That's the difference. Thoughts, your thoughts don't come to you. Those aren't your thoughts. Your thoughts are thoughts that you direct, that you create, that you send out to manifest. Whatever it is, that thought that you've generated is. It is going to manifest. It is going to move energy into form, create it into reality, and then experience it. Remember that. Since we're bombarded with tens of millions of them every single day, 24/7. Now, when we do that, because we all do, we're not exempt from it, we wander off. So when you're in the now, you wander off. And this is where it's imperative, it's always imperative to be gentle, kind, generous, and humble, and in deep gratitude with yourself and everything around you without participating. So you say, okay, so I've floated off. I know it. Not a biggie. Focus on my breath. I'll be in the now. It's a self-conviction for all of us. It is a commitment to ourselves. Nobody else, but to ourselves. Some of us, I think we all reminisce. It's fun. We have that library in our subconscious mind where we go and we'll get a book off the shelf and we'll read it, look at it. Oh, this was fun. Boy, this I had a good time here. Boy, that was great. So we reminisce. It's fun. And then even some of the experiences that we've had that we store in our subconscious mind are not too great, but we still utilize them. We use them and say, I did that, but it didn't work, so I'm not going to do that again. But we don't stay there. We don't. But some do. Some stay there so long that they end up bringing it into a future that doesn't exist, create that future from that past, and relive that past and that future. That's why a lot of people will say, no matter what we do, we always end up in the same place. Others of us will go into the future, but the future doesn't exist because we're creating it in the now. So we wonder, we all do it, none of us are exempt, and we ask ourselves, when is this going to happen? When's that going to happen? And what does that cause? Suffering? It does, suffering. As we get worried and stressed, anxiety, all of it suffering because we go into the future. It doesn't exist. Rather than spending our time in the now, because actually it is all we have. None of us know that from second to second if we're going to be out of body. It doesn't matter what age you are either. So doesn't it make sense to only focus on the moment? And to finally surrender the fact externally that you don't care what other people think about you. It melts away. You're not concerned. You're not disrespectful, but you're not concerned what Bill, Harry, Ted, Alice, Jane say about you. He or she, they don't even, they never plan. They never project into the future or anything. All they are is they keep saying in the now. Boy, that's one heck of a way to live, isn't it? Yeah, it's the only way. But this is where we get caught up with the ego mind. When you stop caring about what others think of you, guess what? Then you know that you're beginning to master the ego mind. We are all the authors of our own health or disease. It is all up to us, always has been, always will be, ever, beyond, and forever. Now, when the body's relaxed and we're in the now, we aren't participating in the ego mind, and we look at the body. This is so important that we look at our bodies, not like in the mirror, but within. And we begin to understand that when we go within, we understand that how do we flow through these bodies? We're not physical. We're spiritual. We're etheric energy. We're cosmic energy. So how do we flow through? Well, there's these wheels of life. They stem from the coccyx, the tailbone, all the way to the top of the head. Some people say there's more, there's less, but we'll just stick with the general 7. Those are the energy conduits that we, the gods, flow through in these bodies, which means that we flow through every cell structure, everywhere. How do you think we heal the bodies that we're in? That's how. We know that we flow through the cells, through everything, all of our emotions, all of everything. The God within these bodies, which we all are, knows this. But we've become so distracted, so disconnected from the God that we are, that we live most of our existence externally, going to others that are complete strangers to our bodies. Isn't that amazing? So the journey, you can argue with the ego mind. The ego mind can argue with you until it's blue in the face, but the journey is only within. It always has been. And this civilization is overdue journeying within. Now we know the soul, God, the pure consciousness, enters these bodies. That's heaven. The body is earth. So the soul powers the body. Heaven on earth. Every step we take when we're consciously aware to a certain extent, we know that we're creating paradise because we are paradise. The God within these bodies that we are is paradise. It's utopia. We let it out and breathe for a change and continue to breathe. Not only that, we literally spread our light 360 degrees in every direction, flooding all life, the highest supreme value universe. We do this 24/7. When we get around others, we don't know it, but we're flooding our light. The God force, love, light, energy, the pure cosmic energy, the life force of all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever, that continues to intensify and continues to expand. It's everywhere. Now, when you're cognizant, you're consciously aware of this, you shine it even more. You're not going to lose it. You're not giving it away. It is constant. It saturates everything. It cannot saturate everything. It must saturate everything. When you're consciously aware of it, it's a whole different ballgame. And what is it? What are you? You are the highest of the highest high, the deepest of the deepest deepest, and the purest of the purest purest, deep eternal love, which brings in deep eternal gratitude and peace. That's what you're made of. That's the cosmic energy, the life force that you are in that body. The power of all creation is what each of us are in these bodies. The power of all creation. And once we embrace this, acknowledge it in our own way, trust it implicitly, then you're going to see some real magic across this planet. And it's just beginning. So we all have parts of ourselves, of each other. We're all one. Not the body, but the God within us, one in each body. That we have parts of us that are asleep. And they're really asleep. We have other parts that are awake. Now, this makes sense that those that are asleep are with us always. It's just that they don't hear and they don't participate. So obviously, we reach out to parts of ourselves and all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. And this is all the light energy beings and all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. This includes the archangels, the cherubim, the seraphim, the archetypes. This includes the ascended masters, Kuan Yin, Maitreya, Buddha, Lakshmi, Ganesh, Gaia, Saint Germain, Christ, Amoria, Bendantia, Pel, Thoth, Yahweh, Yeshua. Many, many, many more. All the galactics, off-worlders, celestials, all of our loved ones who have ascended out of body in this lifetime and all lifetimes we've inhabited, all of the inhabitants and civilizations of inner earth, hollow earth, Agartha, and beneath earth. It's like the galactics, celestials, off-worlders. Over 1,000 of them travel through this solar system every day, and trillions throughout the universes every day. And all these light energy beings, they come in gigaplexes. If you want to know how many, a gigaplex fills this entire universe with not even a square inch of sacred space to spare. They come in trillions of gigaplexes from trillions of universes from every direction. So the ones of those that we know about, Pleiadians, Sirians, Arcturians, Andromedans, Felines, Zeta Reticuli, Nords, Greys, Draco, Reptilian, Golden Pyramid, Avion, and many, many, many more. Now they, in particular, have been assisting us in our evolution, enlightenment, ascension, freeing ourselves from our own self-imposed bondage and our own self-imposed slavery. All of our loved ones who have ascended out of body in this lifetime and all lifetimes we have inhabited. Not the bodies, but the souls, the gods, are part of us. We're part of them. They never leave. They're light energy beings on and above and below this planet Earth, Gaia, Arya, and this now. See, with the eyes that we have with these bodies, we only see 1% of what is. So there's many that we just never see. Shapes, sizes, colors, forms, configurations, different light spectrums, you name it. And the ones that we're kind of familiar with, the fairies, the sprites, the elves, the gnomes, the dwarves, the trees, the trolls, the elementals, earth, air, water, fire, ether, wood, the mermaid, the dolphin, the whale, the pegasus, the unicorn, the centaur, and the minotaur, and many, many, many more. All these civilizations, all these species, throughout existence and beyond, are one. We are them, they are us. There's no separation. That's always been employed as an illusion for all of us. Now, the archangels, they're a civilization that vibrate at a different frequency than we do. That's why we don't see them like we see each other, walking about, doing things. But we do interact with them. They come in different forms. And we meet with them and talk with them. A lot of the times we'll say to ourselves, not during it, but after, that's, yep. You're not necessarily voicing it to anybody with you. You just, or maybe, but you say, that was an angel. And they're all, they send the same message. It's just sent in many different ways for them. And it basically comes down to, isn't it absolutely magna glorious to be alive in these bodies? How else are we going to learn? And that's bliss. Now, they can surround any one of us in the 10th of thousands. Because of their vibrational frequency, they can hold a large number in a small area. Ascended masters, they've mastered physical form. Ascending into physical form, out of physical form, hold pure consciousness, God form. We are mastering physical form, creating our experiences to perfect our creation. In all the parts of all of us gathered, only those who are consciously aware, only the parts of us that are consciously aware can participate in this meditation, in this now, in the liberation of this planet Earth, Gaia, Arya, in this now. And we're all gathered arm in arm, hand in hand, in full compassion, non-judgment, non-negativity, stillness of mind, gentleness, kindness, generosity, humbleness, bliss, joy, peace, tranquility, benevolence, prosperity, abundance. And we're all one, and we're all God, and we're all love. And our God force, love, light, energy is in all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. And it continues to intensify, and it continues to expand. We immediately form a circle of light around the equator of this planet Earth, Gaia, Arya, and this now. This light emanates from the God force, love, light energy within each and every single one of us. It is so bright that it grays out the darkness of sacred space. It would take 1 billion trillion suns to even come close to its brightness. And what is it? It is the highest of the highest high, the deepest of the deepest deepest, and the purest of the purest purest, the eternal love, the highest vibrational frequency, gratitude, peace. And we're flooding this planet 24/7, whether consciously or unconsciously. All of us consciously. All the other parts asleep unconsciously. Everything, all life, the highest supreme value in this universe, all things everywhere. We begin to ascend above the planet and come into contact with a massive ocean of glitter. It's everywhere. It is absolutely massive. And it's reflecting everywhere. Trillions and trillions and trillions. Trillions and trillions and trillions of reflections of vibrantly colored lights. We go to the reflective point, and then we notice that these are perfectly microscopically etched mirrors. So we enter them, and we notice and see that all of us are reflecting each other in this meditation. And we're all teaching each other. And we're all learning from each other. We're either students and teachers or teachers and students or both. And this is constant. Whoever comes into your life, whose ever life you come into, you're either teaching or learning, or both. And instead of us viewing the externality of bodies and interpreting them that way, we should be asking ourselves, what are they teaching me? What are they here for? What am I learning? Or what am I teaching them? It's absolutely magnificent to know this. You see, all the time that we would not put our energies in knowing this, and where we would direct our attention on what we were learning, and then in gratitude and thankfulness for it. We're immediately met with the emerald green flaming healing light of Archangel Raphael. This is a column of light that we all created that reminds us all that we are the power of healing. We are then met with the violet, blue, purple flaming light of Archangel Michael. This is a column of light that we created to remind us all of our omnipotent power, strength, and resolve. We are then met with the white fire. This is a column of light that we created to remind us all that we are imbued head to toe, inside and out, with the white fire armor. Not like any armor on this planet or anywhere. Way beyond. And it is impenetrable. And it emanates from the God Force Love Light energy within each and every one of us. It is constant. It cannot be disturbed, depleted, weakened. No demon possession, attachment, no lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies. They couldn't sustain around us. They know it, so they stay away. Yet, only you have the power that if you decide to lower your vibrational frequencies low enough, your hatred, anger, fear, greed, envy, worry, stress, you will lower your vibrational frequencies low enough to create a breach in your white fire armor, allowing all the lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies to come flooding in. Now, if you do decide to do this, you're immediately met with a double column of light. The purple transmuting flame is the first column of light. We created it to remind us all that we can bring in the purple transmuting flame. We can transmute all of these lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies into neutral light substance, sending them to pure consciousness where they are no more. Immediately, we are met with the violet ray. This is a column of light that we created that reminds us all we can bring in the violet ray. We can cleanse and purify the area where these lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies were, sealing the breach in our white fire armor, restoring our vibrational harmony of the highest high, the deepest of the deepest deepest, and the purest of the purest purest, eternal love, gratitude, and peace. We are then met with the golden white pink light. This is a column of light that we created to remind ourselves that we are the sun, the sunlight, the sun sets, the sun rises, the rain, the rainbows, the mountains, the oceans, the rivers, the lakes, the streams, the trees, the forests, the soils, the animals. We are everything. Everything is us. So the next time you're viewing a sunset, or a sunrise, or a starry lit night sky, or an ocean front, whatever it may be, it is you. You're the majesty, the God within that body. You're the beauty. You're the grandeur. Always have been. We always will be, ever, beyond, and forever. We continue to ascend above this planet. Some of us step outside our physical form, if we're carrying physical form, and hover effortlessly above it. And the reason we do this is because we can. We're then met with this massive crystalline light tower. We created this tower. It's larger than the solar system. In the center of the column is this massive oblong sphere. In the center of the sphere is this golden white bowl of light. It is surrounded by numerous rings, multicolored, all sending out a mist of glittering energies that saturate us. It's almost as if they are us. And what are they? The golden white bowl of light is the highest of the highest high, the deepest of the deepest deepest, and the purest of the purest purest, eternal love. Then comes gratitude. Then comes peace. Then well-being. And then great abundance, great prosperity, happiness, bliss, gentleness, kindness, generosity, humbleness, flooding us. And then we discover that it is us, the gods within these bodies. Always has been, always will be, ever, beyond, and forever. It is for us to discover this. Why do you think we create all this? So that we wake up and rediscover the gods that we are. At the top of this tower, we created it so the golden ocean can come cascading down 360 degrees, as it's doing right now, 24/7. This, too, is the highest of the highest highest, the deepest of the deepest deepest, and the purest of the purest purest, eternal love, gratitude, and peace. And it's flooding us all, head to toe, inside and out. All life, the highest supreme value in the universe, is nonstop. Feel that energy, that frequency. That's what's changing everything. And that is us. We are golden drops of this ocean. We also hold the essence of this golden ocean. The golden ocean is the drops of the golden ocean. And the only illusion is separation. We come in contact with our meditative sphere at Set Center Circle. We created this sphere well over 3.5 years ago. It holds well over 1,500 of our meditations in perpetual motion. All of us, hundreds of millions of us, consciously aware from all that there is, ever will be, ever, beyond, and forever. Beyond consciousness. Beyond, beyond. And those meditations are in perpetual motion. They don't weaken. They don't dissipate. They don't disappear. It's the opposite. They continue to intensify. They continue to expand, flooding us all. Imagine that. All those meditations, flooding us all with the highest of intent. And they're all reflections of the gods that we are. And the whole purpose is that we're waking ourselves up so that we can rediscover the gods that we are. That's why this meditative sphere can be seen, heard, and felt in all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. And this is why it continues to intensify. This is why it continues to expand. Because the gods within us continue to intensify, and the gods within us continue to expand. You can feel it whenever you choose, as long as you wish, or forever, through your heart minds. I'll join you in the meditation and return to close us out. Take an easy breath in through the nose and an easy breath out through the mouth. Move easily and slowly. Each of us have all the power that we will ever need. It's recognizing and discovering that power. And that is the journey within. And as you discover the gods that you are, you'll start to become familiar with that body, how to heal it, at a blink of the eye, what to manifest, how to manifest it, how quickly, whatever you desire. We all have come to learn that it isn't the outside world that we created to distract ourselves. It is the internality of our very existence as the gods we are. To always stay in gentleness, kindness, generosity, and humbleness, and deepest eternal gratitude 24/7. Staying out of the mind and out of the ego. Take this with you for the rest of the day, into the evening and night. And the following morning, we'll be back here September 7th, 2021, 3 p.m. Eastern, to continue our global guided meditation call. We have a Time for Change call this Wednesday and a reverse aging health call this Friday.